this isn't what you guys are expecting probably. Normally on my channel, right, I do Super Sings reviews, and it's been that way for about a while now. I think ever since I started my channel, I think in 2022, I think I've done quite a few Super Sings reviews here and there, but that is about to change because if you go further back on my channel's history, also I ask you to not do that because, well, that's a bit. I mean, we all start off as we all start off on the wrong foot because we are not used to filming videos. But oh my god, do not look at my older videos. I do not have a clue what I was doing. In fact, I actually prioritised most of them because a lot of them had Alton Towers music in. I wasn't sure about the copyright issues going on. Like I could have had like a strike placed on my channel, for instance, and we didn't want that. So I privatised all of them for all our sakes. Anyway, those videos, a lot of those videos, were just silent reviews of Sentai, Super Sentai, and Power Rangers merchandise. If you're unfamiliar with Super Sentai, it is basically where Power Rangers gets its source material from half the time. So it's what it's the show Power Rangers takes from in order to make Power Rangers, basically. But if you already know what Super Sentai is, good. This is just going to be a merchandise review series, because yes, I plan on this being a series. I also plan on this being a part of a complete channel rebrand. Of course, when I do future review videos like this one, yeah, of course I won't have this big waffling introduction to start off with. Yeah, this is going to be the start of a massive rebrand for the channel. It's not going to be just about Super Sings. It's going to be about Super Sentai as well. So there's going to be a funny thing in the channel banner, which I haven't sorted out yet. I mean, fair enough, but it's going to be a half Super Sentai, half Super Sings sing, because I plan on ordering some Super Sentai merchandise from various stores, and I will do reviews on them if it is successful, which it's looking very likely that it will be, although this will cost a lot. So it's going to be a multi-month plan. I've currently got it in 4 waves. Wave 1 is currently underway. Actually, no, these reviews should technically count as wave 1. The wave 1 of the buying phase. Wave 1 of the purchasing, that'll be coming, I want to say, later this year. It won't be this month, I don't think. It's probably going to be June or July. I'm not sure how quickly we can get all this sorted out, though. It's probably going to start this month. It's going to be finished either next month or the month after. Because I'm aware how much all this Sentai merch costs. It isn't cheap, especially when going through customs and having import tax. If you've ever collected anime figures or some stuff like that, then you will know about this. I'm not sure if import tax or customs fees apply to Spain. I'm pretty sure they don't, but I'm not sure. I don't recall hearing anything about customs fees when ordering the Super Sings from Amazon Spain, so I don't think there was any customs involved. Although, to be fair, Spain is part of Europe, and the United Kingdom is a while away, but it's not like it's coming from a place like Japan. So I don't know. Customs might be a bit different. Right, that big waffling introduction aside, that was unusually very short for me. That was only 3 minutes. The first item we have, because for the way that these reviews are going to work is that they're going to be Sentai item reviews, and then we're going to have a comparison. If I have the American Power Rangers version of the item, I'll then do a comparison. I'll have a quick comparison part of the video, like how normally these kinds of YouTubers do. But I think, yeah, I've had these items for a good long while now. I think a good chunk of them are all secondhand. But the point is, that'll be a lot easier than buying them in the box, because that's normally a lot more expensive. Right, so this video is going to start off with a review of, well, this video is going to be about a review of the Shodophone from the series 2000, from the Super Sentai series from 2009, which was Samurai Sentai Shinkenger. Now, of course, if you are familiar with Power Rangers, you might know it as Power Rangers Samurai, where they had a lot of Japanese heavy content in that show, mainly because they couldn't really adapt it out of America because of how the main Ranger suits at the time, all the Ranger suits apparently had these some form of Japanese kanji as the on the helmets, and they couldn't skip around that because that was the basic thing they would need to adapt in order to make the series to work, get the series to work basically. So they couldn't just skip around it; they had to go with it. Certain things they could adapt out there, but we'll get onto that later. This is from the Japanese version, or the Japanese source material, Samurai Sentai Shinkenger. If you're unfamiliar with Super Sentai, the Super part is in English, and the Sentai part means squadron in English, so it means Super Squadron. So that means Samurai Sentai Shinkenger translates to Samurai Squadron, True Sword Ranger, or Earnest. That's the difficult bit about translations, because sometimes they have different translations. Like the Shinken part, a Shinkenger can translate to True Sword, apparently, Earnest, or Serious. I prefer to call it the translated version Samurai Squadron Earnest Ranger, because I think they used the word earnest a bit in Power Rangers Samurai, although it's been a while since I've seen that. But I still call it earnest because I think the other two just sound they don't quite hit the right spots for me. Anyway, let's have a look at some of the details. He says nearly knocking into the camera. Let's have a look at a couple of details on the actual, because this is a phone type morpher. We'll go on to that later. This morphers in Japan are called changers. This is a phone type changer. As you can see, this is obviously from the 2000s because it is a flip phone, and they used to take this kind of technology used to be everywhere. In fact, if you look here, you can see that this is one of the parts of the phone at the bottom where you attach like a hook or a string, because that apparently used to be a fad in the 2000s. It's not so much a thing anymore. But yeah, this used to be a very popular thing apparently. I think it died off in the 2010s. But again, we'll get to the differences between this and the American version in a bit. But as you can see here, we have a little time display showing the signal, the time, and the battery as this little sticker, which luckily for me hasn't shown any wear and tear at all. In fact, if you look here, some of the silver, or Bandai silver as MGO calls it, you can see some of that's worn off, but I'm not too bothered by that myself. I know there's some people out there who would want a new item if they were to see this, because I know some people like their metallic silver paint. Because I bought this second hand, it didn't come with a box, but then that wasn't really much of an issue for me, because at least I got the item inside the packaging. It's got the time display stickers there. It says 2009, because so 9 minutes past 8 in the evening, because that's when this show was being broadcast in 2009. Shodophone ST33 digital changer printed detail here. The ST33 stands for Sentai Team 33, because indeed Shinkenger was the 33rd Super Sentai team. We've got a little nodule here and a button, but we'll get onto that in a minute. We have a clip, some clips and hinges. Nothing to go into detail on the back here. You'll notice that the top parts and the top part and the bottom part are like two barrels, which is a bit of a bulky design, to be honest. But honestly, I actually like this design. It feels a bit more. Yeah, I think it screams a bit more flip phone for me. I don't know. We've got some painted detail on the back, including a. I think that's meant to be a camera. I'm not sure. We've got Sad Pac-Man, as MGO calls him, although you can't really see him on camera. Some molded information about the battery replacement, I think that is. I'm not sure. It's in Japanese, so there's no point in trying to read it, at least. Although if someone does want to know what it says, I'll give you a thing in the comments, if it does allow comments, of course. The Bandai logo is molded on top too, of course referring to Bandai. Japan. It says copyright Bandai 2008, even though this came out in 2009. I don't know what that's about. Anyway, so here's your battery compartment. It's in the bottom barrel. So that's about it for the external details. If we open the actually, this hole here is where the paintbrush gets stored, but we'll get into that later. So you open the phone up, the clips at the bottom, nice, and there should be a clip here, but it's kind of worn off because it's gone a bit loose. Because when you get these items new, it's normally like a ratchet, but no, it's just gone floppy. That's no issue. The top and bottom barrels now form one big barrel, as you can see. Again, this just says flip phone to me. As you can see, this is the inside of the phone. We'll look at the top part screen where all the where there's two stickers, one sticker on the left side, one sticker on the right side. You can see here the signal. I think that's the signal at the very least. You've got a couple of symbols here. You've got the red paintbrush symbol. You've got a little animal symbol or origami symbol because they call Zords mecha in Japan, and the mecha in Shinkenger are called origami because literally folding gods. You've got an origami sticker here symbol. You've got a phone call, email, camera, and settings. Now on the other side, you've got the Shinkenger logo, or Shinkenger mark, as they like to refer to them, because they call these symbols marks sometimes. 2009, battery percentage, henshin.jpg. Now, I think I've been told via the internet that these kanji here mean henshin, or transform. Although I'm not sure. There's a depiction of Mount Fuji, I think that is, because there's a very heavy Japanese theme in Shinkenger, like I already said, so it's very, very, you know, Land of the Rising Sun-esque, because that's what it is. And if you go to the bottom part of the phone, you can see here that the clip is molded with clear red plastic. You know, like I said, as are the buttons on the side. I'll get to what this button does in a minute. Of course, there are sound effects we will get to in a minute. As you can see here, the top gold square does contain a single LED, which is currently off at the moment because it's triggered by the sound effects. And you've got a keypad here. You've got a call button, 1, 4, 7, and then the asterisk. These are all pressable. And you've got power, 2, 5, 8, and 0, which are all pressable. They make their own little animal noises. But then these buttons here, the hang up 3, 6, 9, and the hashtag, these are all molded, just molded. They're not functional. Mainly because they fold away at the back. There's no way for electronics to fit in there. With that said, though, I suppose we should better turn on the switch from the off position to the on position. Turn the switch on, rather, he says in the easier way to describe things. Now, of course, we've got no idea if it's to do with the speaker quality of the toy or how old it is, but the I'm saying that I've got a sushi changer here. I will be showing off in the next video probably. That sound quality is alright. This sound quality is really quiet, so if you can't see it, I might have to I don't really feel comfortable with turning the volume up. You might have to turn the volumes on your speakers up. Maybe when you turn this on, the light will come on. So there's an LED here, which is there, like a nice little activation noise to let you know that it's indeed on. There's some sounds you can make with some of the buttons. Pressing the call button will effectively sound the ringtone for the device, which plays 3 times before stopping. You can also cancel the ringtone by pressing any of the other buttons, but I am not going to try that. I'm just going to go on to what 4, 7 and the asterisk do, which would effectively be what these other 4 buttons down here would do, but because they're not pressable, they don't do anything. By pressing 1, 4, 7 and the hashtag, you get these number keypad noises. And of course you can press the same key over and over again, you can get different noises like this. So it doesn't depend on what kind of key you press. Now we go on to the middle keys. So each one's tied to one of the 5 core Shinkengers. If you move this back a bit, you can tell that they are aligned to the colours. So the top button, which is the power button, will play the sound matching to Shinken Red. The blue button, 2, will play the sound matching to Shinken Blue. 5 goes with green, 8 goes with yellow, 0 goes with pink. Plays matching animal noises as corresponding to their animal origami. Folding gods. So power does this. So effectively it plays like a small little jingle and it plays an animal noise. So that was the lion sound. Now we've got the number 2 key, which does the dragon noise. Number 5 does the bear noise. Number 8 does the ape or the monkey noise. I think it's called a monkey in Shinkenger and an ape in Samurai. And finally, 0 does the turtle noise. And then we get onto the basic transformation sequence mode of this morpher. Instead of pressing a button on the keypad, what you do instead is you spin this side around, and then it will close the gap. This is what the other side looks like. We'll get into that in a minute in detail. And the paintbrush will pop up out of the top. So now it is in paintbrush mode. As you can see, I have basically folded the phone in half. It now no longer closes. It is instead in paintbrush mode. As you can see, the details have been combined from the exterior and the interior of the device. Like the time display is now at the front, the paintbrush is out, it is spring loaded, which means it will not go back in when it is in this mode. On the back, as you can see here, so if you leave it for long enough, it will create the paintbrush noise and it will transform for you, effectively making the transmission sound on its own. Turning it back into phone mode will make this noise. And now we can show you, because when it's in phone mode, this can go down all the way. And if you want to get it back up again for some reason without getting into paintbrush mode, press the top button, which is just here. That gets the paintbrush out. And the button here, right next to the on-off switch, does make a... It's what triggers the paintbrush transformation noise, but to demonstrate it, because it's such a small button, I'm just going to use this Lego mace, which is from the Next to Night set, I believe. So that's effectively what that does. Weird way of doing the transforming, but now we can show you what happens if you do the transformation properly. So you fold the phone, draw the symbol in the air like this, press the button, you can press the green button anytime, it'll transform to the noise, and you are now you haven't changed because it is not a real transformation device. A very nice, unique changer, I say, because I don't think we've had another paintbrush phone. I want them to do more unique changes like this, to be honest. It's a more of a break, just having guns and swords all the time. I mean, with Boom Boom Jet at the moment, first time we've had a brace changer in ages, like a bracelet. Okay, so there's only a couple more things that this thing does. Firstly, you can press the green button on its own just once, and it does this. So a shorter transformation noise. You can also hold it for as long as you want, just to get an infinite cycle of the paintbrush sounds, but without any transformation noise at the end. Like that. And that's pretty much all this thing does. However, like I said before, since I own the American version, which is from Power Rangers Samurai, I will go over the differences now. As you can see, the size of the item is a lot smaller. There's no double barrels, the top barrel being completely missing and the top of the phone being completely flat. There's no clip at the bottom, presumably because it went out of trend by the time the American version came out. There is no on-off switch for the American version. Battery compartment's in the same place, just about. There's no paint, well, there's next to no paint. I think there's a tiny bit of black paint up top. But there's a massive decrease in paint on the back of the phone. This angle, there's still the clip function when it is closed and when it's open. So there is that. There is also no paintbrush mode for this phone. The top decorations look the same, but there's a couple of details that are different. The sticker on the front is pretty much the same to the Japanese one, except it now says 2011 instead of 2009. The printing detail on this one is now embossed detail. That says Power Rangers ST33 Digital Changer, which effectively keeps the Sentai reference in there, but that reference falls on deaf ears because this is Power Rangers and not Super Sentai. If we quickly open the phone, you'll see that inside the bottom part looks basically the same, with the button colours looking only a tiny bit different. The top square looks the same, albeit darker in colour, and the centre square is now painted red. But the thing that has changed the most is the top screen. As you can see, instead of having all that fancy pants stuff on the Japanese version, it now says your Rangers message, it's morphin time. With the same symbols on the bottom bar minus the paintbrush, because this one doesn't have a paintbrush mode. We still have the signal and the battery icons at the top, along with the time, 2011, and the Power Rangers lightning bolt. Other than that, basically the same. Bit of a shock how they managed to keep this relatively accurate to the Japanese version, minus a couple of details. Of course, the size does kind of fail. As you can see here, it's a bit smaller, but I don't think by much. I don't know why I said that. It actually takes a lot off. If we actually... Excuse this, it's a bit unprepared actually. I have to move this up a bit. Move the camera up a bit. If you can see here, if we effectively take away the clip on the bottom, you can see that it's not too far off from the Japanese version. But if we do include the clip in the size measurements, as you can see, yeah, it's a lot smaller. But I don't like to include the tiny clip at the bottom as part of the official size measurements. I just like to include this. So it's not too far off. But of course, if you're familiar with the Power Rangers merchandise of the 2010s, you will be aware that while the appearance looks basically the same, the functionality will... Well, the cost is the functionality, basically. All the buttons that were previously usable on the Japanese version are now completely redundant because they do absolutely nothing. Literally every button you see here you cannot press at all. They're all mouldy to detail. I am aware that they did release a Super Samurai version of this, which included a little projector instead of a paintbrush. which was, look, I say projector, it was a red LED in the top, with the top 6 buttons being pressable. That's the cool 1, power 2, hang up, and 3 buttons being pressable. And that was it. That was all the Super Samurai version did, aside from a new, aside from a swappable little screen. But that was literally just some slides and not a big sticker like this one. Of course, the functionality, of course, did fall off, because, like I said before, the buttons that were pressable in here aren't pressable in here, but they decided to make the gold square, which is an LED on this one. They made that the only pressable button on this version. However, due to there being no on and off switch, this is just run out of battery. This will be the only button on this. It would effectively just play random voice lines when pushed normally. And it would do the transmission noise if you were to press and hold it. Like this. Which would be the same one from this, minus the paint noises at the start. And since this has got no on-off switch, if you were to leave it alone, it would create a little ringing noise. Which, believe it or not, is from the Excelia from Go-Go Sentai Shinkenger from 2006. So they reused that. So that's it for my first Sentai review. I say review because I've seen these like 2 times before on this channel, but that was a long time ago. The next time I will get to reviewing an item from Super Sentai will be, of course, with the aforementioned Sushi Changer, which I do have the box for. So if you do want to see that, please stick around on the channel. Subscribe, turn on notifications so you know when I post videos. I can't believe I'm saying that. I feel like I have to make it clear that people have to do that in order to see my videos, if they haven't already, because sometimes, I don't know, YouTube does recommend you videos from the same channel even if you aren't subscribed. Although, similar content. I don't know. YouTube works in weird ways these days. Anyway, that'll be it for the first Sentai video. I'll be back next couple of days with the Sushi Changer video, and I've got no schedule at the moment. Probably will never ever have a proper schedule, but if you see my videos, just please keep in mind that they are not regular uploads, they're just random. So, I mean, like tomorrow I've got a completely unrelated video planned, so there's going to be that video, and then there's going to be the Sushi Changer video. But the next chronological Sentai video will be the Sushi Changer one. Not in order of the channel's videos, but in the order of the Sentai merchandise. It's confusing, I know. I'm running different shows here, different types of content at the moment. Anyway, that's it for this channel. Wavy hand!